whatever you do, don't let it fall into the wrong hands.
All right. So, you guys had just rescued what appears to be, well, semi-rescued. You're in the process of rescuing 1, 2, 3 of the townsfolk of Orphea. And they've been doing their best to help you, but, their capacity is limited. When the process of loading the remaining prisoners onto the wagons that are spread throughout the camp, you notice only one of them has managed to conclude that loading, and sort of one captured townsfolk person seems to have be in the process of escaping outside the nearest gate to you. Let me ping it for you so you can see what I'm talking about. This one here. And it's just sort of pushed past you, and I think one of you guys took damage as the wagon steamrolled over you, or at least nudged you out of the way.
Smashed me in the head.
Oh, that was you. Okay, cool. So, were you still in the process of fighting that bugbear at the time?
I thought we killed him.
No, we killed him.
Okay, sweet. So he shouldn't technically be on the thing anymore, so he's gone.
We killed him because we got some sweet.
Oh, you got some sweet stuff off of him? Cool. So I'll say you picked up whatever you picked up. Awesome. So what do you do? How do you react? You're watching the wagon steam out of the compound.
Go, Joseph, go.
Go who?
I think Joseph's going to be like, we can't let them get away. After them. And he'll kind of whistle, and Dave rides up, and he leaps onto the back of Dave, and we sprint after the rapidly departing cart.
Okay.
So as Joseph is doing that, I cast my new cantrip, Minor Illusion, which has a 30-foot radius, and I create a massive boulder in the way of the cart.
Oh, okay. And what is the spell? Because we're not technically in combat anymore, we don't have to take turns. You guys can just let me know what you do. Monty and Abe and commoners, do you guys do anything while everyone is doing things?
I think I'm just going to get my steed.
So you cast Find Steed?
Should we load the other commoners up onto another cart so we can just get out of here pretty quickly?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I can start. Is there any parts available in the nearby area? Because if so, I'll do that.
Some here.
Whoever's looking for a cart, make a perception check, please.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool, so they're just one. Okay, Monty,
nice.
You remember seeing a cart when you sort of snuck past the sort of first encounter, sort of like, I'll show you over here. Yeah. So in order to get it, you'd have to spend, at least a minute or so going back to grab it, but that might make you overall faster if you've got a steed to attach to the cart, etc. So is that what you'd like to do?
Do it.
I know.
But we can use my steed.
I think we should all stay in the group, guys, because if this thing smashes or crashes or veers around, we're gonna have to fight. And
that's true.
I reckon get the car.
Okay.
Because we need to be thinking a bit, longitudinally.
Cool. All right.
So we think we've killed quite a lot of goblins. And did Fraz's boulder successfully stop them before they escaped?
I was just about to cut back to that. What is the check against minor illusion? It has to make some sort of a intelligence or perception or something. Investigation.
I've linked it on the roll 20.
Yeah, I can see. Okay, so in that case, the runaway, I think there are goblins on the back, are gonna make a check of some kind. Goblin. Let's see if they can perceive it or if they swerve. So that's an intelligence. What does it say? 18. Okay. They notice that because your spell save DC is probably less than 18. I'm gonna say.
Yes. Where do I find that?
It'd be on your spell page. Your spell tab. It's kind of at the top above all the spells.
Yeah. So the,
yeah.
is that the modifier or the spell attack? Yeah, it's 14. So
14. Okay, cool. So the goblins, limited in intellectual capacity though they are, put it together that because there was no boulder there before, in the however long they've been in the camp, and the fact that it suddenly appears means that they are confident running through it, and they continue to speed off into the distance.
Okay, let's chase them down then.
Okay, I'll say by this time Monty is like dragging with his furbolg strength the cart back onto the road, like down here. Is there anything you want to do?
Well, I would say, yeah, Joseph basically is, he won't let goblins get away with another human, and kind of shouts that that's what he's going to do, and before really listening whether anyone else is going to follow him, he's on Dave and kind of chasing after the cart north.
Cool. All right. I'll say we'll go into sort of you're rapidly following, but I mean they've got 2 horses. You're on 1 panther, so you're keeping up a little bit, but they're slowly like making distance away from you. You're preventing the gap from being too great. And Monty, is Abe finding a steed for that cart?
Yeah, I already summoned my steed.
Do you get to choose what type of steed?
Yeah, it's find steed, level 2 conjuration. It takes 10 minutes to cast.
Okay, it can be a warhorse, pony, a camel, an elk, or a mastiff.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go with warhorse. I think that's what's
10 minutes is a long time. Yeah.
That's certainly handy.
So should we just get the cart, or should I go with Dave and Joseph?
I think go.
I'll say
I go with Dave and Joseph.
you jump on the cart and do Zenarai. I'll say the commoners jump on the cart too. Is everyone on the cart except for Joseph?
Yeah, sure.
I'll get on the cart, but I also want to cast Mage Hand if they're within 30 feet.
Well, no, I'll say the wagon has sort of like left through this thing by now, and
Okay.
I mean you used minor illusion is the cantrip you used when you were sort of in range, and now they're kind of beyond that. So you basically this is like a chase sequence at the moment. Okay, so it's the cart in the lead with the sort of tied up townsfolk dude in the back with the goblins on the front like hitting the reins, and then about 60 feet back is Joza on Dave, like a halfling on a panther, and then about another 60 or 70 feet behind that is a huge warhorse I think you chose as your steed. Yeah?
Yeah.
Pulling a wagon laden down with many more people. So you feel like you're losing speed a little bit because your horse has to pull so many people, but it's a bigger, more muscular horse. So you and Joza, the wagon and Joza are kind of in the same position where you're kind of keeping up, but you're slowly losing distance. What would you like to do? And imagine the chase music in the background is.
So the panther's speed is 50 feet per turn. So I'm guessing what I was hoping was maybe he could, use a burst of speed to kind of pounce up and catch up, or get within range for me to jump onto the back of the cart. But if you're saying that they had too much of a head start, then I think.
Let me bring up.
What are the horses' speed?
Let me bring up the kind of horses they'd be using, and I will tell you exactly what their speed is. Yeah, the horse's speed is 60 feet because they're a bit bigger and they have a longer stride, whereas the panther is more about short bursts.
Cool. Okay. So in that case, yeah, they're breaking away.
At this moment, you with your ranger eyes see that the goblin throws something over its shoulder, and it's got a glassy, reflective quality, and it's sort of heading roughly towards you. What do you do in this split second?
I want to try and shoot out of the air.
Okay, with what?
My bow and arrow.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Alright.
This is where we go into like Matrix bullet time. So instead of the it goes
Excellent.
oh
no.
with an 11
I rolled a 2.
You shoot the arrow, and your ranger senses are more familiar with like targeting things in a forest environment. So you end up like impaling a crow on a nearby branch, but unfortunately you miss the glass, and it splashes down in front of you and Dave, and you feel this sort of like heat coming off of it, and you realize at the last second that it's acid, and you take 6 damage, acid damage, you and Dave. So I'll say you each take 3 damage. Do you have, what's it called, his stats in front of you?
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Actually, I can keep track of that as well.
Acid, yeah. Right. Okay, I've got resilience to poison, but I guess...
Yeah, and then as this puddle of acid, sorry, you can ask me something in a sec, but then the group behind in this, like, weighted down cart filled with, like, rescued hostages and a variety of characters also sees this puddle. Do you guys try to avoid the puddle, or do you go through?
I think we should.
Skirt round it.
Okay.
I blast the puddle with Eldritch Force to blow it out of the way.
Okay, so use your cantrip, make an attack roll. Actually, no, Eldritch, yeah, that's a cantrip. Yeah, roll it up. Ooh, okay. So this time it goes a little wide, and you end up singeing some grass off to the side of the track. So yeah, you guys are gonna take... But actually, it would probably be the horse that's mostly at risk of this. Okay, so the steed takes 1 acid damage. Do you have the steed? Actually, if it's a warhorse, I can show you what the stats are. Apparently, they have 19 hit points, warhorses, so just keep that in mind. All right, so they start to pull away. So Josie, you notice that they're about, I'd say, 90 feet ahead of you now, whereas you were more in the 60-foot range before. And you're about that same 60 feet behind them, wagon people. So you're 60 feet behind the panther and the halfling. Josie wanted to do something before?
I'm going to try and shoot the horse. Oh, there's 2 horses, aren't there? Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so I'm envisioning a situation where I shoot the horse and it sort of dies and drags the cart down with it.
So you're hoping to shoot one of their horses?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
in the head.
The cart itself is blocking because you're behind them. So the horses themselves have like half cover because literally the cart is in the way of your shot. But you can see the heads sort of like bobbing above the cart every now and then. So with a good shot, it's doable. So let me just bring up horsey stats.
Be one hell of a shot.
It's going to be amazing. All right. Go for it. Roll it up.
That's 20, motherfucker.
Yeah, so my question is, can you use my bonus action to cast... am I allowed to know roughly what sort of hit points we're talking for the horse if I want to try and bring it down in one shot? I don't know that, do I?
A riding horse is like a beast. So you would imagine it has similar hit points to Dave.
Right, okay. In that case, I think, can I cast Hunter's Mark on it?
Absolutely, with a bonus action, go for it.
Yeah, so there you go.
Okay, so that...
Range of 90 feet.
Okay, so that means, I don't think it itself does damage. I think that's more like...
Yeah, it adds 1d6 if I hit.
Okay, cool. So go for your attack.
So... YouTube money. Oh my god, really?
Okay, with a 12, you...
2 and a 3.
You aim a little low with your shot, and you see the arrow stick into the back of the wooden cart and go... And you see the townsfolk guy go as it nearly like hits him in the back of the wagon. And at this moment, the wagon starts to extend its lead out to 100 feet as the 2 horses pulling it start to warm up. And you collectively look that this is going to be tricky for you to catch up from. Everybody make a either survival or intelligence check, whichever is better.
Can I use kind of an out of combat action to shout to the guy to try and jump off the back?
I got an 8.
Yeah, you totally can.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Now I realise that my shot hasn't worked. I kind of lower my bow and shout, Jump! We'll catch you! Knowing that that's not true, but maybe we can fix whatever breaks.
Okay, make a make a deception check because he looks kind of scared. I'll say, Josa, you also realize in this moment as you're yelling this with your 16 survival that you know what kind of tracks a big cart and 2 horses are going to make through this kind of terrain. So even though you're struggling to catch up with them now, you get the sense that a ranger of your qualifications could probably track them down more long term. So make your perception check.
Deception check.
Sorry,
right?
deception, yeah. They rhyme, it's close enough. Oh,
Nice.
7. Okay, so you see this guy sort of
This guy's fucked.
wriggling in his bindings, and then he sort of cocks his head to hear what you're saying, and then he goes, like, are you crazy? And starts to, like, curl up against the side of the wagon in case you shoot another arrow. Okay, but at this point, you get the sense that it's getting out of sight. It goes round a bend in the sort of, you're in a sort of forest path at the moment, and the path itself is starting to get kind of narrower, and you get the sense that you've kind of lost them.
Okay. So I guess the cart sort of rolls up. Dave's getting kind of tired, not really built for long distance.
Yeah, you see there's
Kind of pull up.
sweaty, like, foam on the side of Dave and this warhorse steed that you've summoned, Abe.
Yeah. Just say maybe. Okay. What do you want to do? Keep going after them, or get these ones to sleep?
We could always just track them with our new useless guys on tow.
If we're tracking useless guys, then there's going to be a massive noise and distraction.
Yeah, fair.
I say we rest. I say the adventurers rest. We send the halflings, the humans back to town, and then we track them when we're ready for combat proper.
Yeah.
I don't think we should. These poor fools don't know the front end to the back end of a sword. I wouldn't want to leave them alone in this part of the world. They'll be,
Yeah, we could
dead in hours.
or we could always, because my horse, I'm going to name him Fox, he's intelligent. I'd be able to get them back to safety while we rest and come back. I think he's able to do that.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
So, do you
The dragon is correct.
walk me through the plan that you intend as you sort of, like, are you resting by the side of the road, like setting up a camp? Am I understanding?
Yeah, we're going to rest, but if it's possible, we're going to send...
Why do we need to rest? Didn't we rest like a little? It's nighttime, right?
For one, my spell slots are all expanded, so my combat usefulness is limited.
I think if we rest now, the cart will just get away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're tracking it anyway. We know where it is. We can find it.
Yes, it is nighttime.
I don't know.
Not terrible. I'm on...
Yeah, I can survive. I can heal people up. It's whether people feel they can cast their spells. But,
wow! Calc is 44 now!
hey, fucking hell. It seems like you can communicate with your horse telepathically up to a mile.
And I can talk to it with Draconian. But yeah, so if we can just point him in the right direction, we should be finding the way back.
Well, yeah, but if they're attacked, they're just completely undefended, aren't they? Like any of those other goblins could just track them and just go and just grab them on the road on the way back.
We aren't far from Orpheum. They'll be there by
Well,
You're
I think that's
about
a pretty
a...
shit rescue mission if we send all 4 of our rescued humans back on their own.
No, but I can do that. I can go and take them back on the horse and come back.
I'll say, what's the word? Abe can roll a history check, please.
Yeah. I'm sorry about these guys, because I'm all for rolling.
With an 11, I mean, you remember from your time in this forest where you grew up that it's not 100% safe. There are some beasts or snakes around, but there didn't used to be like a big war camp filled with goblins either, so maybe you haven't been keeping up to date with the environment. So you don't know anything for sure, really.
I think we should probably stick.
Also collect the money when we go take these people back as well.
Or we could split up.
I don't think there'll be. I don't think there'll be that huge a burden. Like if we press on.
Also, we can leave the cart and make them walk.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, if we've got a war horse and a cart, then why the fuck not?
But then we're not going to be able to track anything because we'll be.
Carting a
We're not going to have, they're going to hear us coming a mile off.
Well, so, luckily you're in a party with a ranger, my friend. The one thing I'm good at is tracking people.
It's more like not losing them or not finding. Yeah, as long as we can find where they are, then I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point entirely. We're not going to lose these people. We can follow the tracks. We know where they're going to go. They're already gone. So why don't we consolidate what we have, which is the mission to save the humans?
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, because we want to kind of come upon them as they're still, on the run, rather than by the time they're like. What they could do now they're ahead of us, they can just circle back around and just go back into the camp. So we don't want them to get too far away.
But that argument's fallacious. They're gone. So we're tracking them to where they end up, not to where they are running. That's the whole point. It's the hobbits to Isengard.
I think if we want to be relatively quiet, we can leave the cart and make the humans walk. None of them is injured, from what I remember.
And also, we were they were in the middle of the fight, and they weren't like they put up a good fight.
Yeah, they weren't completely useless.
They weren't complete morons.
None of them got hit.
Here's the compromise then. Why don't I escort the humans back to Orphea, find a horse, and then smash up to you guys?
Absolutely not. That's exactly the point. So what with you doing it? Is that alright? That's
What? Abe and I will go back to Orphea with the humans. And one of the sneaky small people will go find the.
I generally think that if we want to leave the humans back in the place, I can do that, given that it's my birthplace, so I do know the area. So I should be the one that takes the least time, except for maybe Joseph.
Okay. Hold up, guys. So I have a favourite terrain type, and because Sam is a lovely man, he let it be forest and made all this lots of this story be in the forest, which I think we still are. So my favourite terrain type is forest. My proficiency bonus is doubled. Proficiency skills when you make an int or whiz check related to it. While travelling for an hour or more in your chosen terrain, difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. Your group can't become lost except by magical means. You remain alert to danger even when you're engaged in another activity, and you can move stealthily at a normal pace while alone. So I would have to be out stealthing. And you find twice as much food while foraging. While tracking creatures, you learn the exact number, size, and how long ago they passed through the area.
Okay, that's very cool.
Basically, I'm pretty good at tracking, so I think we could. My group obviously could include the cart and the humans, so I think we could.
Yeah,
as a group until we find them.
Yeah, you feel that Abe knows the area very well in terms of how to navigate around it and where certain places to forage for food or game are. So Abe has a good knowledge of it in terms of a place that he's lived, and Josa has a good knowledge of it in terms of how to track people sort of skulking about through it. So there's a bit of overlapping expertise, but certain specialities make them slightly different kinds of knowledge.
Okay, that's cool. So we can do that, and Monty can be in charge of babysitting the humans.
Okay, fuck it. Well, so let's rest then, because it's night time, isn't it? We probably didn't sleep, and this way we get spell slots back. So what does a short rest do compared to a long rest?
Short rest allows you to roll hit dice, which are up to your level. So if you're level 3, then you can roll 3 hit dice of whatever level. It'll be on your D&D sheet. And then if it takes about an hour to take a short rest, and then any of your skills or spells or whatever that recharge after a short rest, you get them back.
Okay, should we do that?
What do people get from a short rest? I don't know if mine get back.
I don't need to rest much personally. I'm happy to heal you guys, obviously.
I might
if it's
be
for
able
hit point
to use
reasons.
yeah.
I don't know.
Where do you see if something comes back after a short rest?
I think one of mine comes back after a short rest.
How many spell slots do we get back after a short rest?
It's from my.
It depends. Some classes don't get any spell slots after short rest. Some classes do. It really depends.
Okay. Let me Google.
Okay, so while you're short resting, you can roll your hit dice. Do you guys see? There should be an option that explains that to you on the D&D Beyond page.
Yeah.
And do your generic slots reset?
Your what resets?
Your spell slots reset, your general spell slots.
No,
On a short rest?
they all reset your spell slots on a long rest, but certain classes get certain numbers of spell slots back on a short rest. Like if you have Arcane Recovery as a feature or trait, certain spellcasting classes get that feature, and other sort of racial spells like Zenarize cast Darkness, I think that might recharge on a short rest, but it's not just de rigueur that you get them all back. All right, you come to the end of your short rest and nothing looks amiss. What would you like to do now?
Start tracking.
Start tracking. Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully try and use one of the only good things about a ranger and track some people.
Okay, so you get to, when you're making a survival check, you get to add your proficiency bonus twice or something?
Guys, BRB, 2 seconds. I have to do it.
Yeah.
What was that?
He's getting the door.
Oh.
Your proficiency bonus is doubled for proficient skills when you make an int or wisdom check related to it.
Okay, so when you make, roll us, what's your proficiency bonus? It should be +2, right? It'll be in the top middle of the character sheet usually.
I got it back.
Proficiency bonus, yeah, +2. Yeah.
Okay, so make a normal survival check, like with the send to VTT or whatever, and then we'll add 2 to the result.
So much dust coming off your shoulders.
So 26.
Oh, nice. Is that after the 2 or before the 2?
After.
Okay. With that, you manage to find the tracks very easily because they're goblins, they're not overly stealthy, and they're in an enormous wagon. And you start following it along, and you get the sense that this is not going to be hard to follow. You go for about an hour. You start to feel tired as it's getting to be 11 p.m., midnight by now. And you start to come to a more like rocky section of the forest. No longer is it thickly placed trees and shrubs. Now it starts to be like rocky outcrops, a weird escarpment, starting to be like more cliff-like, until you come to like a huge, much higher cliff, and it goes as wide to your left and right as you can see. And it's about 90 feet high, this sort of uneven cliff face. And you see the tracks stop at the sort of face of this cliff, seemingly going straight into the cliff.
Can we check down to see if they actually went off the cliff?
No, you're at the bottom of it.
Oh, I see. Alright.
Okay.
Can I roll a perception, see if I can see what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, perception, go ahead. Anyone else who wants to do anything with this cliff can do so.
I can cast Detect Magic on it.
Okay. Let's do... Sorry, you want to do something, Zenai?
was going to cast thaumaturgy on my voice and go, hello.
You were
Stop using fucking spell slots for shit.
no. Thaumaturgy is a cantrip.
It's cantrip, you know.
Okay, so with the detect magic, I'll resolve that first, and then I'll do Jose's perception check. What you detect is a kind of magic. I think it's called transmutation, and you get a sense that there's a strong source of it within the cliff face in front of you. And you, with your perception check of, 17? You notice that this section of the cliff where the tracks are is a little kind of repetitive of the areas of cliff around it in a sort of unnatural way.
Do I know anything about this area?
This is sort of you remember pretty easily that this is on the outskirts of your territory, as it were, when you were growing up in this forest. And you... Actually, roll a history check. We'll see how much you remember.
We're definitely going to leave these poor villagers to their death, aren't we?
You see them. You hear from the back of the wagon. They say, "What are we doing? Are we trying to find Jerry, the one that got away on the back of their cart?"
Yeah, Jerry, that's his name. Come on.
How can we help?
We've got two options. You can come with us, help find Jerry, or you can ride back to town on your own, or I guess walk.
Okay.
It's dangerous out there, and obviously we need you alive.
They look around, kind of. I'll deal with your check in a sec, Abe. They look around, kind of nervously, sort of start rubbing their wrists where they've been tied for the last week or two, and then they sort of say, yeah, maybe we should stay with you guys, or even better, maybe we should stay with the cart. You know, who knows what might happen to this cart when you guys aren't here. What do you think?
I don't think it's safe to leave them on their own.
Let's see what's going on with this cliff, and then we can decide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, just fucked with it a little bit. I reckon we can walk through it.
Cute kitty. Okay, Abe. With a 4, you remember very little about this area. You kind of avoided it. It didn't smell good to your dragonborn senses, so you just avoided it like the Badlands in The Lion King.
Okay, well, so Monty, do you want anything to say about your detect magic?
I'm going to try and just walk through it. I think we can walk through this wall.
Okay, you walk through that section of the wall and you go straight through it. You find yourself in a dark, fairly narrow tunnel, about probably less than 5 feet wide. But you can't see anything because you don't have dark vision. You also...
I have dark vision.
All of you guys at this point take a point of exhaustion because it's getting after midnight and you haven't slept.
How do we have a point?
Did it? Well, hang on. Didn't we take a pretty big rest just before the assault on the goblin
You got
base?
1 hour break.
You just before you assaulted the goblin place, I think you took a short rest. You were just kind of waiting for it to be nighttime so you could assault the camp, right?
Okay.
Whereas a long rest
Yeah.
Prevents exhaustion, but it takes 8 hours.
Okay.
So how do we make a exhaustion thing?
Hold on 1 second.
You just grab the page, your character page, and where you have your HP, you put 1 there and damage, I think.
Below heal and damage. Okay, gotcha.
I think.
So with 1 point of exhaustion, you basically have disadvantage on all ability checks. So if you need to do a perception check, if you need to do an athletics check, it doesn't affect attacks because they're not considered ability checks, but it affects everything else.
Okay.
Fair.
Where does one log it?
I think Abe just described it, right?
No,
If we give the damage next to your HP.
Conditions. Conditions, yeah.
oh, it's aha.
Yeah, exhaustion level 1. Okay.
When you find the exhaustion section of your character sheet, you hear that like Zelda reveal noise. Da 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 da.
Nice.
Sweet.
Sweet.
So,
You're
really-
DMing my own life.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
really quickly.
So the Furbolg doesn't have dark vision, so he's currently standing in the darkness, and you just watch him walk through the cliff.
So I have dark vision though.
I think you're the only one, yeah.
You're not in there yet, though.
Yeah.
Maybe you go first. Also, we could just sleep in this tunnel, guys. It looks pretty cozy.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
Yeah, and we know that cart fits in there, so why don't we all just bowl in and have a little sleep?
Sounds good.
Okay, you guys are going to take a long rest? Is that...
Should we put everything into the tunnel first? Or leave it out in the open?
There's a cat.
I will certainly be going to bed with one of these humans tonight. It needs a cuddle.
He's a kind of...
Yeah,
Well, they-
the way
I don't
you
think you need to
dance
cuddle.
there, you have a very good chance of going to bed with this non-human.
Yeah, maybe
so-
for you. So inside or outside, guys?
Outside.
Outside?
Yeah.
Area smells very bad though.
So you're gonna attempt to set up camp outside the tunnel, or you're judging how safe that is? Is that, who's doing that?
Well, I don't
Well,
think
I
we should camp
can,
just outside, because otherwise they could
I mean,
just
I
launch
can-
an attack.
Well, no, let's camp outside so we're not in the middle of a tunnel and they accidentally stumble across us. I can cast minor illusion over all of us if we all sleep within a 5-foot radius and make us look like
Okay. I'll say the ranger can make a survival check and then add 2 to it. Abe, you rolled a 4 on this area, so you're not overly familiar with good camp spots around here. So you just kind of get this uneasy feeling of being in a place that you previously avoided. With a 13, Josa, you notice there's a lot of rocky outcrops. So you, about 60 feet away, you could camp on the other side of that and be protected from obvious vision from this part of the cliff. But beyond that, you don't find any other like good spots. And Zenarai, you can cast Minor Illusion, but I think the duration is like a minute or 10 minutes or something.
Totally worth it.
yes, that's 1 minute, yeah.
That's 1 minute of just immense safety.
Okay, so Joseph's like, yeah, I think camping either just inside or just outside this cave illusion is probably not very safe. Let me have a look. Let's go over there. There's an outcrop. We have an advantage. We can see anyone coming and going. It's a cave. Yeah. If anyone leaves, we'll know. Then we can move in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, fair.
Why these dirty small persons?
Okay, are you guys taking any watches, or are you all just going to sleep?
I will sleep.
Okay,
I think just because of the we don't want them to panic.
yeah.
If we call it like 8.5 hours sleep and everyone takes short watches, I mean, can we all still get a full rest?
Sorry, if you all take a watch, will you be able to get a full rest?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can all take a watch and you'll all still get a full rest, yeah.
Okay, let's do
I'll do that then.
Okay, so who's taking the first one?
I'll take
that.
Joseph.
Wow, lots of
Okay.
willingness.
Sheila, you went first.
Okay, Abe, roll me a perception check, please.
Yep. Perception, nice. So, guys,
Okay,
I tried.
with a 3, you're still kind of creeped out by this area, and you just sort of like huddle up against the other side of the rocky outcrop and just sort of try to be unnoticed while still being awake. And then you tap the shoulder of whoever is next and be like, yeah, nothing happened. Who's next?
Me?
Cool.
Is that alright?
Give me a perception check.
Nice.
Oh, 17. Okay. You notice that you hear these heavy footsteps a ways off towards the cliff, sort of crunching on the sort of rocky, it's not as grassy around here, so you hear them like crunching on the rocks. And you look over, and with your dark vision, you're able to discern an orc sort of like pacing up and down outside the cliff entrance-y bit. And he seems to be like shuffling with his foot, like scraping the ground. And then after 5 minutes or so, you see him walk back inside the cliff. Your watch comes to an end. Do you do anything with that time?
I shove Joser and I'm saying, fucking on!
Okay.
So yeah, Joseph kind of wakes up like, what's going on? And Dave is kind of like already awake and growling. This is like what Dave is like.
Nice.
And like I say, orcs, where?
Okay.
Over there!
Do you wake up Josa when you see the orc at first, or do you wake him up? Do you wake him up after you've been watching for a couple of minutes?
Yes, that's what I do.
Sorry?
Yeah, sorry. So I wake him up after I've seen the orcs doing all the shit.
Okay. In that case, Josa,
Fucking orc.
you see the back of the orc Josa go into the illusion, and you see like a spear or a sword sort of on its shoulder as it disappears into the cliff, but you can only see a silhouette really because you don't have dark vision like Zenurai, so it's just kind of like, you know, when you see dark shapes in the middle of the night.
Okay. I say, was it just one?
Yeah.
Yes, one is far too many orcs for my taste.
Okay. Well, there's no. Let's let the others sleep. We'll hunt them in the morning. You get some rest. I'll keep an eye out.
Cool.
I briefly consider the prospect of casting thaumaturgy and making my voice boom to attract orcs, but then realise it's quite a shit idea, go sleep.
Okay. Perception check, please, Josa.
Okay. If I can use my mouse. The cat on it.
Okay, I think we add 2 to that because it's your favorite terrain. So you hear,
Yes.
your senses reach out and you can hear crickets. You can hear what sounds like a fox sort of like shuffling around about 60 feet away in the sort of undergrowth. You don't hear any orcs. It seems pretty quiet, but you hear that there's some like forest wildlife around, which is kind of surprising in an area so rocky and barren. Your watch comes to an end. Who do you wake up next?
Ash.
Monty,
Yeah. So I walk over and kind of lightly, lovingly kick Monty
Okay.
and say, "You're up. No sign of movement." Zeno, just so you know, I saw an orc before my watch, but it was just one, and he was at the cave mouth. So
Oh no, I don't like that.
keep an eye out, all right? Hey, don't sleep on the job.
No, of course not. Okay, I'll just sit here.
Okay, cool. So make a perception check, please, Monty.
Please do badly.
Oh, okay. With a 15,
Nice.
you think to yourself, what a lovely section of forest that Shanti has created. This is just lovely. You hear the crickets and stuff as well, but you're not really that tuned into it like the ranger was. You just think, what a nice background soundtrack to this watch. And you can smell that sort of that smell like it's about to rain in the air.
I love Shanti.
And your watch comes to an end uneventfully. And then Abe takes the last watch, and you can roll a perception check, and you can describe how you wake them up if you want.
Ooh. Wait a second, I need to find my thingy first.
Okay, with a 5. Oh no, we did Abe at the beginning. Sorry. That's the end. Okay, you guys all wake up after a short rest, so you've got all your hit points and your spell slots and stuff back, and you see the sun and you don't have a point of exhaustion anymore. So the sun rises over the forest canopy.
Sweet.
Cool. Easy. Okay, so we all sort of gather around, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Zenoa, you saw an orc. Any info?
Just a second. Okay, compatriots, I saw an orc last night. He was doing stuff in the night and then disappeared back into the tunnel. We should destroy him.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Yes, I don't like orcs. Let's destroy him.
Yes.
I'm up there.
So what would you like to
That's
do?
great.
So we need to work out how we're going to get in.
Have we given? By the way, what weapons and armor did we get off the dead goblins? Can we Are there any of the humans that aren't armed that we could?
I think I gave everyone a weapon. I was taking the weapons and giving them out as I got them.
I think you took the weapons off 2 goblins, so you would have 2 scimitars and 2 short bows.
I had a long sword, a scimitar, short bow, and a long bow, and I gave. We have 3, right?
We gave at least 2 away.
Yeah, we gave the short bow for sure, and I don't remember the other one.
Scimitar.
Yeah.
No, wait, we've lost you guys.
2. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did have a long sword as well from the hobgoblin.
Didn't we? So Fraz gave a scythe and something to them as well. I think they're probably better off having melee weapons, right?
Yeah, he gave one of them. Gave another one a sword. Yeah, I gave someone a short bow, and I gave the other one a scimitar, I think.
Okay. So they're all
Should we make sure they've all got melee weapons? Because I don't think they're any good with bows.
They actually did hit last time, but we can give them a melee weapon. Let me check what I have.
Joseph, just because you're exceptional with a bow doesn't mean that they're useless.
I have very high standards of bowmanship.
Small man is victim to simple psychoanalytic principles such as projection.
Yes, projection with my own eyes. That guy shot a bow and it almost hit his own foot.
What's a gorgeous stuff?
It's just like a wooden staff.
It's a bow staff, pretty much a favourite weapon.
It's like the stuff that a shit mage would have. Just very basic stuff.
Okay.
What do the humans do? Are they just warriors? Have they got any special abilities?
Humans.
We talk to them and find out.
I actually think it might be better for them to have a ranged weapon, because that means they're not in range for an attack.
I tell you what.
Interrogate the prisoner.
Fellow humans who can perfectly well talk to us.
Interrogate the prisoner.
What weapons are you good with?
I like that we're having this conversation right in front of them.
Yeah, you hear them say well, we're not great with martial type weapons like long swords and such, but we can do well with clubs and things like that, which basically means when they roll to attack with a scimitar or a long sword, they don't get a proficiency bonus added to it because they're not proficient, but they just get to attempt to hit regardless.
Okay.
One of them got disadvantaged, didn't they, with a longbow?
Yeah, the longbow specifically was it's particularly difficult to pull, so that's why he had disadvantage.
Okay.
I cast Thaumaturgy and turn my eyes black.
Okay. And
say, do better.
what? What was that?
I say to the one who who had disadvantage with the longbow do better.
Okay, you see him go, yeah, totally. And he like half-heartedly starts to try and do like push-ups on the ground, but he's really shit at them.
Yeah, Joe's just kind of rubs his eyes.
Purely human.
I've got a short bow.
No, they don't have longbow, they have shortbow.
Oh, okay, well, never mind then. We're good. Fuck it, let's kill some goblins.
Yeah.
Okay, so what order do you go into the tunnel?
So I should go first because I've also got dark vision.
Yeah.
Yep.
Has anyone got anything that can make a light? I have.
I can make light. I can cast light.
Oh yeah, sweet, do that. I've got a torch as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
So surely, why don't you guys do that at the back, so I can scout in the darkness?
Yeah. I will. I'll actually just cast light on my mace at the back and walk along with it.
Okay, so
Okay, I'll scout ahead.
so Zenarai's at the front, Monty's at the back. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and who is in the middle?
I guess that would be the humans, me and Joseph.
Cool.
Yeah, let's keep the humans sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
Yep. So, given that
They're all gonna die.
Operation Human Shield.
Yeah, exactly.
Ethnicity of the human.
So I'll go behind Cineraya then.
Get behind the villagers.
Get into a fight. Not a human, a draconian shield.
Okay, cool. Just let me arrange your tokens and I'll show you this different map. Where's Abe? That's Joza. Where's Abe gone? Did I lose Abe? Oh no, there you
Can't
go.
believe, like, I rolled a 2 and a 3 on my attack rolls to stop that card. It's so annoying.
It happens all the time. Like in the game that Ash and I are playing, we've had some truly terrible rolls.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you like need one. Okay, cool.
We've actually had really badass enemies in that other game we're playing that have just been massive, getting constant 20s.
Yeah. Okay, so
Well,
this is what you see.
Like, business.
Yes.
Can everyone see that map?
Yeah.
You basically
yeah.
you come into this like very narrow passageway here. I can't fit you all, so I'll say you managed to walk about this far in, because the scale, I'm kind of working with two different scales at the moment. So you're basically in this passageway and you come to like a fork in this narrow passage and you see one passage leading off to the left and one leading off to the right.
I will try and track the tracks.
You'll track the tracks. Okay, make a survival check.
Nice.
What is it?
So, it's a 7.
Okay, with the
Someone
7.
else do it as well.
With the 7, you find that the light cast by the morning star at the back is not helping overly unless there's another light spell somewhere in the group.
I could pull out my torch as well.
Okay.
Actually.
With your torch.
What?
What?
I was going to say, why don't I do the same thing?
Okay, make a survival check, and you've got a torch now, so you've got better light. Okay, with a 2, you think to yourself, "What is this tracking bullshit? I want someone to slay."
Okay, can I give it a try?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, survival.
Okay, you guys are kind of floundering about in this tunnel, and Abe thinks to themselves, smells not so good. With a 6, you smell this sort of like, it's a mixture between wet dog and sort of that sulfurous, eggy smell, and you don't like it. And it gets stronger further into this tunnel.
Oh dear. Can I do either history or arcana check? Or maybe Abe should be doing that. I don't know.
To accomplish what?
History check.
I mean, the sulfurous makes me think of dragons. I'm wondering if my character would know that.
Well, if it's related to... okay, so roll with advantage and give me it would be I'd say history, yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
With a 6, you don't think it's associated with dragons. Like sulfur is not necessarily, that smell is not like a dead ringer for dragons. You're just kind of like, interesting.
So our rolls so far in this cave have been 4, 3, 2, 2, and 1.
Yeah, you're just kind of standing in a cave.
Yep. I'll do a perception maybe. If I can't follow the tracks, maybe I can see something else going on around me.
Okay, do a perception check.
So I'm looking for, any signage that maybe the goblins use, or any obvious traps or anything like that.
Oh wow. Okay. What you failed to notice while you were looking for tracks on the ground is just off to the left in that other passage, you see sort of a whole bunch of wooden pieces stacked up against the wall. And when you look, you realize, wait a minute, if all those pieces were assembled, that would make a wagon. So there's like a side panel, there's a bottom panel, there's 2 wheels, there's those little things that hold the horse to the wagon, and you think, did they disassemble the wagon to get it in here?
I think we have to check the one that doesn't really allow the cart to go through and just keep on moving back. At least that way we might.
Yeah, that sounds like some good. If they've disassembled the wagon, it's probably because they couldn't fit it in. So let's go to the small one.
Okay.
So I take the lead, and I use my dark vision for the first time to actually see what the fuck's going on.
Okay, so you're going the left passage or the one straight ahead?
The left passage.
Left?
Is that the small one?
Yeah, the left one is the small one.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. Okay. What happens is that you take the left passage, you squeeze past the disassembled wooden wagon, and after a little while, about 4 minutes or so, you come out through the cliff face, what appears to be another illusion of a cliff face, and you come out to a slightly different section of the rocky area that you were. So you're like back outside, and you see the sun has risen a slight tiny bit more, and you get the sense that you've just come out of another entrance/exit.
Can I check to see if I can see the tracks again?
Yeah, in this new area, yeah, make a survival check. Okay, with a 12, you don't see any tracks at this particular entrance. Aside from your own.
So I'll say I don't see any tracks, but it's been windy, so I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Go back in? Or?
Back into the cave.
Back in.
Alright, let's go.
Okay, so we take the original path back down.
Okay, you're back at the fork in the road. What do you do now?
We continue south.
Okay, cool. What you see is it takes like a sharp left, and you follow it until it comes to like a slightly wider cavern. And with your dark vision, you see that it's much bigger. It's a bit, you can kind of walk, 3 or 4 of you can walk abreast now, and the passage continues south. Do you continue?
Compatriots, we can walk 3 or 4 abreast then. Shall we continue south?
We've come this far. Let's see. Wait a second. Have I got any spells that might be useful here?
I mean, I could use Mage Hand and scout out the area and sense for any traps.
I'll just do like perception check. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
Can I try a perception check to see if we see any of the tracks again?
I can always light the place up pretty fiercely if we want to do that, but
I think we're waiting.
people might see us.
Yeah, and we're also in for a big fight.
Yes. I would.
Okay, so I mean, our plan is to kind of try and sneak up on these motherfuckers, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
should we proceed doing lots of like perception and stealth check?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so why don't I use I could use mage hand to sort of feel out the area. Make sure there aren't any like pressure plates or anything.
I'm going to take off my scale mail. Once you mention stealth.
Okay, so
You are a wise bear. I knew it from the first time I saw you dance.
so if you click on your AC, you'll. Oh, sorry. You had a comment about the dancing bear.
I said I said the Monty was a wise bear, and I knew it ever since the first moment I saw him dance.
And I say, I feel so limbo about this scale mail on that I feel like the next dance I do will be all the better.
Now, if you click on your Monty, if you click on your AC in the character sheet, it should tell you how the AC is calculated. And then if you remove the armor from it, it'll be like 10 plus your dexterity or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it's currently doing, I think. 10 plus 2.
Cool. All right, sweet. So just remember that for if anything happens.
Yeah, it seems to be it's calculating it, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. So you just unequipped it. Yeah, go on, Joseph.
So now we're in this new room. I'm guessing so. There's only one way, isn't it? It's south.
That's the only way you can see at the moment.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of light in here, haven't we? So I'll do another perception check, see if I can spot any clues.
Yeah, go for it. Okay.
Nice.
With a 19, you notice that further down in this cavern is another side passage that leads off to the left, and the rest of the passage continues south.
Okay. So I'll say I'll relay that to the team. There's a small side passage up ahead. Shall we move over and investigate?
I start chanting really quietly, side passage, side passage, side.
Side passage. Okay, so in our little caravan, let's all head down there.
Okay. You see you hear the sort of like rescued townsfolk say, "Is everything okay? Do you guys know where you're going?"
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
make a deception check.
Who, me?
Whoever said yeah, definitely. Okay, with a 14, they're just villagers, so they say, "Oh, good, because it's getting kind of dark in here," and they just seem anxious. You follow that side passage. Sorry, you want to say something, Joseph?
I was gonna turn and say, do you want to save your friend or not?
Yeah,
It's the only way we can guarantee his survival.
Say if we want them to not see us, we need the darkness.
Okay. I mean, yeah, Jerry's a good guy. I mean, of all the people in our neighborhood, he's kind of, I don't know, he's the most zen. He's always sort of looking after his plants and growing veggies. He's a good guy.
Well, if Jerry dies, it's going to be all your fault. So come on.
Okay, all right. You see them like wipe sweat off their forehead.
I start quietly singing I believe in a thing called Love by the Darkness.
Okay, so after about 3 or 4 minutes, you come out again through the rock. You didn't even notice because it was kind of dark that you went through an illusion, but it's got this, when you see an illusion from the other side, it's sort of got a like semi-translucent quality to it. And now that you've seen one, you kind of recognize them, and you come out to a different section of the sort of rocky area.
Fuck. Back inside.
And you hear the...
we leave the cliff just enough to then reorganize ourselves into the same order, and
Cool.
Abelardo heads back in.
You hear the villagers say, "Oh, it's a really interesting route that you've figured out. I would never have thought to go this way."
Oh, it's passive-aggressive humans.
Cool. All right, so you return to the passage and you go south?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You keep, and you see the passage continues to widen, and you come to this sort of. Is everyone? You all kind of were trying to go stealthily. Is that what that conversation was about?
Yes. Yeah. That's why I took off his camo. Yeah, we are sneaking.
Okay, everybody roll a stealth check.
Or in advance.
Oh.
Oh dear.
27.
Okay, so we've got a 3 from Monty, a natural 20, 27.
I mean,
I'm fucking invisible.
Because his arms off.
Sorry, what did you say, Zenrai?
Does Monty get advantage because he's lost his arm?
No,
No, I don't get disadvantage.
yeah, he's gone from disadvantage to regular. So
Okay, never mind.
we've got a 3 from Monty, a 27 from Joza, a 15 from Zenrai, and a 5 from Abe. So I'll also do some rolls for these other human-y dudes. Give me a second.
Well, but that works pretty well actually because Zenoi is in the front. I'm in the middle. Whereas Abelardo and Monty.
Abelardo's right behind me.
Okay.
With
Okay.
dexterity stealth. Oh wow, the villagers, probably out of fear, are walking very quietly. So what happens is Zenrai strides out confidently into this sort of section and starts, just without really noticing, his feet sort of scuff into all these little rocks and stuff, as there's a lot more loose rocks in this section. And shortly after that, as the rest of your group kind of file in, you see Monty just outright falls on the ground, kind of gangly, not really in control of his legs, not having seen, even with his lit up mace, a huge, like torso-sized rock in front of him, and he just falls straight over it, clunk, clunk. And then you hear at that moment, a sword come out of its sheath, you know, that shing, and you find yourself set upon by, Joza recognizes straight away the smell of orcs, and Abe recognizes the stench from this area has got even stronger in this region. So we're going to deal with this. So everybody, let's roll initiative.
The villagers have used their only good roll on a pointless roll.
Let me just see if I can clear up this thing. I'm just going to clear this.
Now I'm rolling well. Why couldn't I have killed that horse? I guess this way. Really kill so many more goblins.
Can you guys see those
I've got
tokens?
my spells now as well, so.
Oh, I had a question about my steed in this situation, because he can fight with me. I can be on him, but I don't know if that changes.
There you go.
How long does the steed last for?
I think it lasts until it dies. I don't quite understand that bit.
Okay, well no, that's possible. I'm just asking.
No. Yeah, sorry.
Would you have brought it through the tunnel with you, or would you have left it outside?
I thought it was following us.
Okay, let's put it in here. Ready? Boom. Right, is it there?
Might as well.
I can't see it. Is it there? Oh, there it is.
Hi, folks.
Okay, I'm gonna put the warhorse at the back because it would be hard pressed to Monty is caring for it. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So first up is the orc. The orc is gonna take a big axe swing at Abe, and you hear it sort of grunt at you in this aggressive orc language that anyone that speaks orc would understand.
I do.
Okay, you hear it say, "Filthy creature, what are you doing? What are you doing in our hideout?" And it you get the sense that it's put too much of its energy into that clever insult, and it misses wildly with the axe, and it sort of strikes the ground beside you. Next up,
Completely overthought it.
yeah. Next up, the other orc is going to try to hit Zenrai with a 20. I'm sure that hits. So that's going to be. It's a pretty big axe. I'm gonna tell you now. It's going to be, where is that? 1d12 plus 3. So that's 6 slashing damage. As you feel it sort of
Okay.
bite into your shoulder, and you hear this sort of like, what you imagine is laughter.
Alright.
Cool. And then that's the end of their surprise round. And then you see that it is Dave and Joseph's turn.
Well, I'm going to cast Hellish Rebuke, which I think I can do out of turn.
As a reaction, yeah. So roll it up.
Yeah.
You're done. Yeah, set.
So it needs to make a save. Is that the idea? Cool. So this.
I think so.
this
DC
orc-
14.
Okay, so the orc rolls an 8, so it fails, which means hellish flames engulf it, and the creature must make a saving throw. So roll 2d10 now.
Isn't that what the...
I mean, you can.
yeah,
you
that's
can...
what the 14 is.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah,
No,
the
that's
14 is 3d10.
no, that's 3d10. So you must have accidentally cast it at a higher level. Are you casting it at a higher level?
No, I meant to cast it as a reaction.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, yeah, I did the wrong one. Let me get rid of it. I'll do it again.
Okay.
You don't have second level fire cast, right?
I mean, I have that spell as well, but I'll do it like this.
You're doing it regular.
Those are both second as well.
That's okay. The one that you did manually works, so that's 8 damage of fire damage. So that means that it takes 8 fire damage. And you see that the orc does not respond well to that, as flames sort of engulf it and start to like lick up the side of its torso, and it starts to grunt in pain. And it's quite upset.
Yeah, fuck you, bitch.
Next up is Joseph's turn.
So I don't get any disadvantage for using my bow in short range, or do I?
You do. If you're in melee range and you try to use a ranged weapon, then you have to do it with disadvantage.
I'm guessing I'm in melee range with these guys. Or this one at least.
Yes, you are.
But, could I take a shot at this one? I think the one that Zenoi just
Yeah,
did.
you could.
Okay, so Jose feels that very familiar, reassuring blood thirst for these green scum, and relishes the moment for a second as he draws his bow, and I'll say tries to, as the guy is kind of flailing in fire, tries to kind of pick his moment when he's exposing his neck, and aims for that.
Nice.
Shoots his arrow. Bit of flavour for you there, guys, so enjoy that.
Love it. The more flavor, the better. Oh my goodness. With a 28, you feel the rage course through your veins, and the arrow sinks right into it, sort of like just below the jugular, and it does 6 piercing damage. And you notice by the blood just like, how do I describe, hose piping out of its neck, it is on death's door.
Well, two secs. That's 1d6 plus 5, right?
If you hover over it, you rolled a 1 plus 5, so you just rolled poorly.
Oh yeah, okay. And that's probably added my. That would have added my +2 at ranged attacks, right?
Yeah, +2, and also it's adding something else as well. So it'd be your proficiency and your dexterity combined.
Send it a biting animal.
That's only so I've got. It's 1d6 plus 5. My dexterity is 5.
Oh, okay. So that's what it's adding. Sorry. It's if you hover your mouse. If you hover your mouse over the damage roll, it'll give you a little window that tells you how that was rolled.
Yeah, but shouldn't I add? Hang on. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. It's a bonus to attack rolls, not the damage. My bad.
Sweet. All right. So is there anything else you want to move or bonus action?
Am I within range of this guy if I try and get out of his range?
You're currently in his melee range, so he would get an attack of opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just kind of go like, yes.
Okay, you hear throughout the line, you hear Joseph suddenly in the middle of this fight go, yes! Alright,
A high five, Joseph.
nice. You have to high
With a
five,
mage hand.
you high five over the top of Abe's shoulder. Sweet. Next up is the orcs. So this orc on this side, having seen the damage that you've done to his colleague Josa and being unable to hit Abe out of sheer incompetence, is going to try and hit you. So that's going to be... Okay, sweet. That's a 17. Does that hit you?
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's going to be 1d12 plus 3, so that's 6 slashing damage.
Okay.
As you feel it sort of like goes through your midsection, and you get the sense that your leather armor isn't protecting your midriff as well as it could be. And then you see the other orc on death's door start to like, in panic, runs away down the tunnel, and Zenarai gets an attack of opportunity.
How do I roll that?
It's just a regular attack. So what would you hit with melee wise? It has to be a melee attack.
I get my fucking sickle to that human dickhead. Can I hit him with my crossbow?
No. I mean, you could use the crossbow as a club and try to hit him physically with it.
Well, I've got a dagger, so I can do
Yeah,
that.
roll that probably.
Okay.
Okay, with a 13, you just managed to connect with your dagger strike, and you see that you rolled very well on your attack. So just as this orc is trying to run away, you stab it in the back, in the spine, and it just collapses on the ground.
Sick.
Nice.
Cool. So,
Joseph high fives anyway.
nice.
Tight.
Now it's
So
Zenarai.
it's my go, right?
Yeah, it's your turn.
So I'm going to turn around, so I'm going to go to Jojo. You ain't seen nothing yet, little man. And I'm going to blast the other orc with Eldritch Force.
Okay, roll it up.
Eldritch Blast, sorry.
Oh, critical hit. So I think I realized that it's actually calculating it better than I thought it was. So let me just 1d10, 1, 13. It's rolling it again. Okay. So the first one is 9 plus 4 is 13, plus 1 is 14. Okay. So with a critical Eldritch Blast, you watch as this purplish, orangish sort of ball of energy slams into the side of the orc's face and blackens the side of it so that he looks kind of like Two-Face from Batman.
Sick.
And he looks to be substantially worse off than he was before. Is there anything else you want to do with your turn?
I double high five Jose.
As the fourth or fifth high five rings out through this tunnel, you get the sense that like echoes are a consideration and that the tunnel continues further ahead of you. Next up is the warhorse. What telepathic commands does the warhorse receive?
I don't think he can make it to the orc in like one turn, kind of his way back.
Well, no, to be fair, a warhorse has quite a lot of movement, and he would be moving through the space of allies. He has 60 feet of movement, so 5, 10,
Okay.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Yeah, he could get up beside you, but it would be very cramped if he was there.
Let's just leave him there, and his command is to take care of the humans, like shield the humans if anything happens.
Okay, you see the warhorse sort of pushes past Monty and takes up space in this only part of the chamber that has enough room for it to be in parallel, like abreast with the humans, and it just sort of snorts there and then stamps the ground. Next up is Abe.
How is your life, Joseph?
Fine. I'm 26 out of 32.
Okay, you're fine then. Then I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike. You'll see it soon. There it is.
So a strength
Ensnaring
save.
Strike. Yeah, so what it does is the next time that I hit a creature with a weapon attack before the spell ends, a reading mass of thorny vines appears at the point of impact, and the target must succeed on a strength saving throw to be restrained by the magical vines until the spell ends.
Okay, so you've got to hit in order to do it?
Yeah, I'm just casting the spell first, but next time he gets hit by a weapon,
Okay.
then that happens. And since it's level 2, I think, the damage increases by 1d6.
Yeah, you get the sense that you rolled very well, so it's going to get additional damage if you hit.
Ooh, awesome.
But if you don't hit, then you don't have to have wasted the spell slot, because technically you can decide whether you do it afterwards, I think.
Okay. Perfect then.
Yeah, 'cause isn't it bonus action of some description, like allowing you to
I
review
think
it and
it is,
then do it?
I think I can. It's a bonus action for me. Let me check though. But
So you are hitting it.
yeah, ensnaring strike is a bonus action, so I can actually attack it as well. Let's
Cool.
go with a warhammer then. Wish me luck, guys.
Bonsoir.
Oh, wow. With a 22. What happens is you crack the orc on top of its like dumb-looking skull, and just as you do, these thorny vines erupt from the head of the warhammer and encircle themselves around the orc so completely that they constrict and basically do what you see a meat grinder do, and then all the meat kind of like comes out in little tendrils. And it's... So you've essentially made orc mincemeat on the floor of this cave, and he is gone. Done.
I go to high five Abelardo, but like quite hesitantly.
Joseph jumps up in between and steals the high five.
What happens is, just before we end the combat, Monty, as you're sort of trying to pick yourself up off of the cave floor, the noises of violence and flames and the sort of angry grunting of the orcs reminds you of sort of the sort of traumatic memories of your past, and you start to have a bit of a panic attack. So that means for the next 10 minutes or so, you'll be as if you were exhausted, so your ability checks will be at disadvantage, but it'll wear off once you sort of regain your composure. So you...
Monty.
Stop whimpering.
His mate has to slap him.
I slap Monty with my actual hand.
You slowly walk back through all the other villages.
And you hear me just shout out, "Not the eyes! Not the eyes!"
I slap him in his eyes.
So...
Are there any weapons?
Yes, you notice that there is a great axe on the ground. Sorry, 2 great axes, but held by each of these orcs. There's also 2 javelins. They were each holding a great axe and a javelin.
They haven't got any gold on them, have they?
Pick up the javelin. You gave your knee thing to one of the villagers. I'll grab a break.
Yeah, that'll be good. I quite like a javelin, so I've got something to do.
Javelin's ranged.
Oh yeah, I don't need that then.
Cool.
Why don't you
Yes.
give them a great axe and you take your scythe back or something?
Yeah.
That's good. I'll have him slice back.
Okay. What were you saying, Abe? You want to pick up and distribute the weapons in what manner?
So, which ones do you guys want? I just want the great axe, just in the rest.
So I would say give a great axe to the villager that has my scythe, and I'll take my scythe back.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, nice.
And then let's do javelins in case they need it for now. Given I think we all have arrows and bows.
Yeah, tight.
Yeah, cool. There
Cool.
we go then.
So as the smell of wet dog and sort of sulfur that you now realize is particularly strong around these orcs, like it's their own unique fragrance of BO, you start calming down after the heat of battle, and you hear the drip of moisture inside this cave system.
Wow. Very
And
cool.
on that sound is where we'll end the session.